The following program is rated TV MA for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Say, olive oil. Want to have dinner with me tonight?
Oh, Popeye! There's nothing I'd love more.
I don't think so, you runt. Come here.
Oh, no! Popeye, help!
This looks like a job for me, spinach.
What's wrong, Popeye?
Oh, my stomach's killing me.
Well, maybe it's because you just downed a full can of pre-cooked spinach in one bite.
Really can't be good for you.
I'm fine.
No, you're not.
I mean, you didn't even chew. Digestion begins in the mouth.
I'm good.
How long have you even had that can of spinach?
Oh, it's tough to say. I buy in bulk. Oh,
It's probably expired.
spinach can expire.
Popeye, it's the spinach.
It's not the spinach.
It's all you eat. You eat like a garbage disposal.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's absorbing into my beard.
God! Let's get out of here. Bye, Popeye.
Oh,
You're
God.
gross.
Smells like low tide. Oh.
It's the Pete Holmes Show!
Thanks, everybody. I always try to have the body language nice and open up top. You want to be like, hello. You know what I mean? That's evolutionary. It's like if you do this when you're nervous, you know what I mean? It's because this is a kill stroke. For like a tiger, that's your bowels. Ah, he's got you. Also, your shoulders, when you do that, it's to protect your neck. You ever notice when you're nervous, you're like, well, it'd be great to work at Kinko's. Relax. Open. Open hearts, open hands. Let's pray. So yeah, this is what I do. I'm a TV host. But you know what I did before this? I waited tables at Bennigan's. Yeah. That's what I did before this. Not immediately before this. It wasn't like, hey guys, sorry to interrupt. Southwest Sampler, right? Real good, real good, real good. This is Carrie, she's taking over. I gotta run to TBS. Wasn't like that. But I used to wait tables at Bennigan's in Chicago, and I loved it. I loved being a waiter. Everybody called me Moose. Big guy, called him Moose. Name tag said Moose. When I clocked out, I'd get on the restaurant PA and go, the moose is loose, moose is loose. It's true. Good times. And you know what else I loved about being a waiter maybe the most was the tips. Not just the money, but like working for tips. I love working for it. Because being a waiter, it's kind of like the American dream. The harder you work, the more you can make. It's kind of like Scarface. Only waiters do slightly more cocaine. I'm just kidding. Moose was drug-free. Was. But here's what I want to say publicly about tips. Some people don't know this, but waiters don't make an hourly wage. You do, but you get like a check for 12 cents. Like, do I work at a lemonade stand? So I just want to get this out there. The tips aren't extra. The tips are all of it. That's how they get paid. So tip your waiters well. Give them an extra $1. Who cares? Just get it in there. You'll make somebody's day and their rent. Think of the service industry like the original Kickstarter, but you're helping to fund a person's groceries and their self-worth instead of an indie movie your friends are trying to make about wind farms. Bro, it's called Blowing in the Wind. We only need 80 grand. That's a good idea. Wind isn't the only thing that blows, Kevin. Forget Kickstarter. Give it to a waiter. They're giving you a lot. In exchange, you get hot food, endless refills, and sometimes some very convincing flirting from a girl in a bow tie. Just like, can I have some extra cheese, honey? You can have whatever you want. I get all excited. Woo! Extra cheese, that's code for sex. I'm gonna give her more than just the tip. Okay, that's a bad joke. That's a bad joke. Good night. But here's the rule. For good service, tip 20%. And I know that freaks some people out. You're not good at math, neither am I. I'll make it easy. Move the decimal point over 1, double that number. It's simple. If the bill is $30, move it over. 3 times 2 is 6. Tip $6. If it's 40, why am I doing this? I think you got it. There's one guy at home like, wait, what if it's 50? Why am I even explaining this on late night anyway? When did this become Schoolhouse Rock? Just like, and that's how you tip. But here's where it gets more complicated, because sometimes 20% isn't enough. I'll tell you when. I call that time breakfast. Breakfast is cheap as shit, and that waitress busts her ass for you. So sometimes it doesn't end up fair. Like bringing someone 3 types of juice. Everybody loves every juice. All the juices you have, just for me. That's 1 tray of goddamn juice just for one guy. Eggs, they bring you eggs that are impossibly still hot. That's not easy. And bacon cooked to your exact specifications. Just like, listen, I want it crispy. I want crispy, all right? But I want to have a little bit of give. Just a little bit of give. Like, you know what I mean? Like cook it, but then like take it out right when it's like you know what I mean? Like you bite it, it's kind of like somewhere in between like a poker chip and a fruit roll up. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? She's sweating, running out of the kitchen like Vishnu, 4 arms, each one lined with 5 plates. They got a short order cook screaming at him like, 86 the waffles! Over easy, coming up! I just deep fried the side of my hand! Constantly slamming that bell with the spatula like, ding, 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 move, move, move! And after all of that trauma, your breakfast bill comes out to like $4.75. This is where 20% doesn't work. 20% of $4.75 is like 90 cents. If you leave that hard-working breakfast waitress a 90-cent tip, you deserve to be banned from breakfast. Throw her a couple extra bucks. Throw her 5 extra bucks. She's been up since 5 a.m. setting up the patio while it was still dark. You haven't seen the bottom of the coffee cup since you walked in, and if you have the audacity to tip her barely enough to snap into a Slim Jim, yourself. We got a great show tonight. I will be talking to comedian Daniel Sloss, and when we come back, I'm going to play Dungeons and Dragons for the very first time. You don't want to miss it. Stick around. Welcome back, everybody. So I am into a lot of nerdy stuff, but I've never played Dungeons and Dragons, the holy grail of nerd culture, before in my life. So I got together with some of my friends to play D&D for the very first time. Check it out. This is great, guys. I'm so excited to play Dungeons and Dragons for the first time.
Excellent. So in this game, you can do anything you want. You have complete free will, okay?
I love it. Open-ended.
Okay, let's set the scene. Xanadon, Elric, Thaddeus. You enter an old tavern in the town of Beldain. You see a table near the fireplace at the far wall, and seated beside it is a wizard holding an orb, and he's speaking strange incantations into it. What would you like to do?
Okay, I enter the tavern.
Yes.
I get a table. On the opposite end of the room is the wizard.
So far away from him.
I would like to be as far away from the wizard as possible.
Okay, because there are tables near him that are completely open.
I don't want to talk to old weird men talking to orbs. No,
Okay, look, the wizard appears before your table and sits down with the 3 of you.
Okay, that's weird, because for all he knows, we're waiting for a 4th.
He's a little offended, but then he says, listen to the tale of the ogre of Korgal.
He's coming on a little strong. So I stand
He
up.
says, where are you going?
I say, none of your business.
The wizard says, stop it. Stop doing that.
You said I could do anything, but this is an open-ended game.
Yes.
Pete, maybe we should talk to the wizard. He can send us on a quest.
I'm into quests. I'm a quest kind of guy.
Okay.
I just don't want to quest on an empty stomach. So I ask to look at a menu.
The tavern wench comes over and she
Ooh,
goes,
tavern wench.
she's in her 40s.
How's her body?
It's good.
What's good here, milady?
She says, the mutton?
I would love the mutton.
Maybe we should do something a little more adventurous.
More adventurous. Lean in real close and
Yes.
say, give me the eggplant parm.
How is that adventurous?
6 times out of 7, it gives me Rhea.
Rhea?
Diarrhea.
There's no, she says, there's no eggplant parm. Of course there wouldn't be. It is a dark age economy. So why would that even be in this?
Then I'll have the mutton.
Fine. You have your mutton, okay? Can we just please, can we take it seriously now?
Okay.
All right?
Okay. I reach down to the cold handle of my steeled blade,
Yes, your ever blade of frost.
and I remove it from its sheath.
Yes, everyone looks in your direction.
And they watch me as I cut my mutton into smaller, more digestible pieces.
Okay, you know what? Screw it. I go up to the wizard.
Thank you. I am Tristram, the wise man of this village. My orb has shown me an ogre dwelling in the shallow margins. I need you to go on a quest to stop him.
I accept this quest.
I too accept. Xanadon, we are going on a mighty quest. Will you join us?
I need to get some shut-eye sleep off the mutton, and then I'm going to ask if there's an inn attached to this tavern.
There is an inn.
A D&D B&B?
Sure.
Dungeons and Dragons and beds and breakfast?
Yes.
Okay, I'll get a room.
Okay. The other two warriors set off on their quest. Elric, the ogre, roars. You can smell its breath, and then it attacks you with stone fist. It's a hit.
Okay, I counter with disruptive strike. Success.
I use Storm of 1,000 Blades.
Yes.
I just kind of walk into my hotel room and, just kind of like soak in the vibe.
Okay.
So I'm going to soak in.
All right, you don't even have to roll. You rolled. Okay, so you successfully soaked in the vibe.
Great. I'm going to kick off my weird boots and just kind of get in there.
Very good. All right, the ogre uses Thunder Dash on the two of you who are in the adventure. And it is a critical hit.
And I am dead.
Me too.
Game ogre. Are you guys ogre kill yourself? Game ogre.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, all right, thanks, Soren.
Thanks, Jared.
Sorry.
I'm also gonna go.
Yeah, thanks for playing, guys. It's not normally like this. The game is different. All right.
Looks like it's just me and you, Dungeon Master.
Okay, Pete. So you're the only adventurer left alive. So what would you like to do?
I would like to go on an adventure.
Great.
Downstairs.
Okay.
I'm going to talk to that wench. I want to make it happen. That mutton was dry. Let's see if anything's moist. Nah, I mean.
Bye.
What happens with me and the serving wench?
Figure it out.
Don't need you. I go up to the wench. Ooh, if you roll over its head, I'll let you do butt stuff. Really? Ooh, I'm going downtown to Browntown. This game's fun. What a fun game. Thanks to my D&D friends, Jared, Logan, Oren Brimmer, and one of our writers, Nate Fernald. So funny. When we come back, I'll be talking to comedian Daniel Sloss. Don't move! Welcome back, everybody. So I recently sat down and talked with Scottish comedian Daniel Sloss. He's so funny. He's only 23. He just made his American TV debut on Conan earlier this very year, and he told me one of the craziest stories I've ever heard in my life. Take a look. I'm super excited to be sitting here with Daniel Sloss, a hilarious comedian, Scotsman. Mm-hmm. Is Scot derogatory?
No.
A Scot. Mm-hmm. F Scott. Fitzgerald. Sloss doesn't sound good. It sounds like a side.
Like a what?
Yeah,
A
like
side
a
of...
side dish. I'll have the turkey burger. Do you have Sloss? We got some. Is it vinegar or is it mayonnaise?
Well, we can choose. We make it fresh in the back. Nobody likes 2-day-old Sloss. It's not great.
You're a young man. How old are you?
I'm 23.
And you've been doing comedy
6.5 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
So your parents encouraged you to go into comedy?
Oh, yeah. My dad's a huge comedy fan. Since I was very young, I watched stand-up with him since I was like 5 or 6.
And what do they do?
My mum she's got a PhD in microbiology, so it's like greenhouse emissions. And,
wow.
And my dad is a computer programmer who's currently working on 3D underwater sonar.
So they're both
Geniuses.
geniuses.
This is what happened when you combine their sperm. No, that's not how pregnancy works, is it? No.
Your mother's sperm.
And my dad's sperm. No.
When the two sperms combine, they make a child so stupid. He thinks both people have sperm.
No, it's the sperm and the egg.
The egg.
Yeah.
Ovum.
Ovum?
A bit of an ovum in it.
Well, I didn't know. For years and years, I thought the sperm was the baby and the egg was the house.
I was just gonna say, it's his house.
Yeah, because he just goes in there and the egg keeps it safe.
Yeah.
And then it grows into a baby.
I actually think that informs how we view men and women. It's such a male perspective. It's like the sperm is the dude, and the leg keeps the dude safe.
She looks after him like his mama.
Nurture it, and then the dude grows and comes out of the woman and smashes that puss. Can you teach me a good Scottish?
Gooch, but I think that's
Gooch?
Gooch.
Gooch?
Gooch? You don't have that here?
We have designer bags. Canal Street, you can get a fake gooch.
Gooch. Gooch is the bit between your balls and your anus.
We call that the taint.
Oh, the taint.
Building bridges between our divisions. We call that the taint or the notcha, because it's not your penis, not your anus.
And that's now what I'm calling it. That's amazing.
The notcha! What about intercourse? You having intercourse?
I have had sex with over one woman. So that's...
I'm going to call that double digits, because I do...
Because I got 2 in.
Oh, double digits!
Double digits.
They call them digits.
For years and years and years, like all my comedian friends always had sort of like great sex stories, like as comedians do. And it wasn't until I went to Sweden for the first time.
You went to Sweden?
I went to Sweden. I met this girl. And let me guess, you're 24 and you got out of like a 3-year relationship recently? She's like, I'm married with 2 kids. And I was like, oh, well, okay, well that's just then the game over sign came down.
Yeah.
But I'm not an asshole. I'll play after the credits and stuff. I wasn't going to stop talking to her because she wasn't going to have
like
sex
the
with me.
DMV?
Yeah, you'd been done.
This window's closed.
Yeah, and so I'm like, I'm going to go to the after party. And she's like, oh, I thought we were going to go back to your hotel room and have sex. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that was an option. But sure, that sounds way better than what I had planned. So like you and your husband are divorced. She's like, no, but he cheated on me 3 years ago, so I owe him one. She kissed me, and when she kissed me, I noticed her hand was on, one of her hands was on my back, but her other hand wasn't anywhere. And she brought it up here and took a photo of us kissing and then sent it to her husband. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is like Sweden's a very liberal place. It's very for free for thinking and stuff. So I was like, this is like an agreement you guys have. She's like, no, I just want to see how you'll react. And we went to the hotel room. We're having sex.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, I didn't have a choice anymore in this, and I was drunk.
You're just a pawn.
I was used. It was awesome.
You were used.
It was so good.
You loved it.
Yeah.
You loved being used.
Oh, it was amazing.
So you're boning.
Her phone's going off the entire time.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah. Texts.
No!
Phone, Snapchats.
No!
And I'm like,
what are the Snapchats? Just him like
videos of him going. Grrr! And so I'm like, you're gonna need to hang that up. This is freaking me out. Turn it off. Like it's distracting me. She leaned over, answered it, put it on loudspeaker, and then started moaning down the phone to her husband, who was screaming shit in Swedish back at me, which I didn't understand, but it almost definitely wasn't encouragement.
I've been unable to perform because the mood wasn't right. You're still boning a woman while her husband's screaming at both of you in a goofy sounding language.
Yeah.
Daniel, I've never met you before. This was a real pleasure. I watched your stuff on Conan. You're super funny. Love to have you on this show sometime as a stand-up as well.
Definitely.
And
awesome.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you very much for having me.
Daniel Sloss, everybody. It's a side of Sloss. And it was delicious. What was that? I'm not even sure if this show is on in Sweden, but Daniel, please, be careful, just in case. That was insane. We will be right back with more show, everybody. That's our show, everybody. Thank you, Daniel Sloss, and we will see you next time. Good night.